Señora del Camino, muéstrame la vía para llegar al Padre, al lado de tu Hijo. Well, hello everyone. Hello from well on the way up a mountain. I've reached where I'm staying for this evening in Laguna, I think it's called, which is on the way to O Cebreiro. That's just a couple of kilometres further on at the top. I stayed there last time. It's a beautiful area in the hills, the mountains. It's like being in Lord of the Rings, this bit really. So very different to the Meseta, very green. It's raining, it rained today, but it wasn't unpleasant. So in the albergue is great. I've got a bottom bunk and a PowerPoint, and there's a nice bar and restaurant to have a meal this evening, and it's out the way, and I'm looking forward to it. All my family come in, and as it gets nearer the last few days. But I must admit, just for today, it's lovely to be in a quiet, isolated place. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do. There's nowhere to go out to anywhere. I'll celebrate Mass here somewhere later, and that's good. That's good, just to have this quiet time as a pilgrim and a palmer, making sure that I keep focused on that. And when my thoughts turn to Santiago, I'm trying to keep them focused on arriving at the tomb of St. James, and then wanting to bring back to the present moment. So last night, I went to the supermarket to stock up on food for last night, and today breakfast and lunch, and tomorrow breakfast and lunch. Just makes it easier. As it turns out, there was plenty here, but I just like to make sure when there's chance. And then I went to Mass at the convent. I thought that they were Carmelites. In my head, I thought that, oh, this is brilliant. I'm going to go to a Carmelite convent on the Feast of St. Teresa of Avila, and it'll be a big special celebration. And I wished them a happy feast day, and they said, thank you very much, but we're Poor Clares, so Franciscans. To be honest, when I looked around the church, there were a lot of images of St. Clare and St. Francis, so never mind, they were very friendly and kind about it. Then it was a Venezuelan bishop who was there as the main celebrant. It was just a small mass in the chapel. He was there because he has two priests from his diocese who are in this diocese, and one in Madrid and also one in Santiago de Compostela. So he was visiting them. So I had a bit of a chat as well. Then I came back and was making a meal in the kitchen. It was a lovely albergue, really, very well put together. Apparently, the couple who owned it had it for 15 years and restored it, and it was really good. So the kitchen was great, and then I was cooking, and there was another pilgrim there called Judy, and we got chatting, and she said, oh, do you want some of these leeks I've got left, and some spinach, and I was sharing some of the bean stew, and it was one of those great Camino meals where you shared what you had, and had a really good conversation, and you know, those encounters, so many of those very special encounters, grace-filled encounters on the Camino this time, more than I was expecting because of doing the running. But actually, I've met loads and loads of people, and a really great time, and then seeing them again, which is wonderful. So then when I went to bed, then I went up and all the lights were out, so I hadn't sorted all my bags out, which I normally do. So schoolboy error, it was too late to do it then, so I was the person at 6 o'clock this morning rustling the bags about, which I try not to be, but I sort of have a routine now of having things as ready as possible for the next day. And then there was a great place to sit, a comfy settee to sit down and say some prayers out the way. And then everybody was having a cup of tea or coffee before setting off. It was raining, it was raining heavily during the night. I was trying to tell myself it was the river, but the river doesn't bounce water off the skyline. So I know that feeling from getting up early in the morning, going up Winter Hill, thinking, well, you're going out in it. So people were sort of getting a bit anxious about the weather. And I just said to Judy, I spoke to her last night, you know, the doorstep mile is tough. You know, you just get out there, but it's never as bad as you think it's going to be. And then the first mile is a lie. In other words, you might not feel great to begin with, but once you're warmed up, it'll get better. And it did clear up a bit. And so today was like two parts to today. It was a very good, it was a beautiful run, sort of threading through the foothills. So a good half marathon distance run. And then we hit the mountain. And then it was a steep ascent through forest, which was lovely, which has brought me to where I am now. I have everything that I need here for today. Let's say a bottom bunk and a PowerPoint and a restaurant bar for later. In the middle of nowhere, there's nothing to go to see. Unlike yesterday, here it's very isolated, like being on retreat again. So I'll celebrate Mass here later and make the most of the quiet time, staying in the present moment. And so another day of travelling safely done, keeping you in my prayers. I'm going to go and get a shower now and then sort things out, have a bit of a rest and take it from there. So, keeping you all in my prayers, Senora del Camino, pray for us. I just can't give up now. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy, and I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave